you used up the retainer fee that you paid?
Supposedly they said I did, yes, sir.
He is never at the home that he claims that he lives at and is instead in a shop that he was previously living above that has no running water or bathroom.
The substantial amount of money that I have gave them, and we have been now, I mean, 2 court hearings. I've tried making a payment plan with them, and I have got denied a payment plan.
This matter is before the court this morning for a review of parenting time, as well as the motion of attorney Cassandra Suter seeking to withdraw as attorney of record for the defendant Anthony Forres. Mr. Zeng, you are with Ms. Suter's office, is that correct?
Yes, I'm a attorney at Goldman Associates.
And Mr. Forres, do you have any objection to Ms. Suter's office withdrawing as your attorney of record?
Yes, sir, I do.
Have the two of you talked this morning?
No, I have not. I have not. No.
Okay, I'm gonna have you talk before the court's gonna address this. The counsel should always talk with the client before and understand what the issue is. Obviously, I don't know if you've communicated with Ms. Suter, but I'm gonna have the two of you talk and then I'll address the matter.
Excuse me. Yeah, I've talked to her a week ago.
I'm gonna talk with Mr. Zeng.
Okay.
And then if he can't work through issues this morning, then the court will come out and address it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Forres, you've had a chance to now talk with an attorney that's also with the same office. Have you been able to resolve whatever issue existed?
I have given them a substantial amount of money for the work they have done, and we have been to 1 court hearing. I know that really doesn't matter, as he says. I tried setting a payment plan up with the firm, which they denied me, and I don't have another $5,000 right offhand right now. If I could give them 100, 200, or 500 per month on a set day, I would be into that. But they will not give me that opportunity. And
okay,
yeah.
So have you used up the retainer fee that you paid?
Supposedly they said I did, yes, sir. I don't know where.
Well, you're entitled to a statement.
What was that?
Have you received a detailed statement showing how much time has been expended?
1 time, yes.
Mr. Zeng, has the retainer been used up?
Yes, Your Honor. The retainer has been used up, and I know for a fact that my firm does send bi-weekly, so statements every 2 weeks to the client with their current bill. Mr. Forres, unfortunately, has racked up an extensive bill beyond the retainer of almost $5,000. And unfortunately, when Mr. Forres applied for credit with the firm, that credit was denied, and our firm is very concerned with whether continued representation of Mr. Forres having that bill continuously to rack up, if we can even be able to collect on the amount of attorney fees that's owed to the firm.
All right, Mr. Forres, did you receive a statement 2 weeks ago?
I did not. I checked my emails right before I got stuff done. I've only got 1 statement that I've seen. Checked my spam folders, everything else, and I did not apply for credit. I never got a credit check or whatever. They never did like a credit check on me, I guess. I just talked with them on the phone and asked them if I could set a payment plan up, and they did deny me, but I never got a credit check.
All right, Mr. Zeng, please forward maybe if email to Mr. Forres the last statement your office sent. Mr. Forres is entitled to that. He is entitled to some sort of accounting. So at this point in time, I want you to address that, but I want you to represent Mr. Forres for the hearing for the review today. So in the meantime, I'm going to have you talk with Attorney Nemec in the front of the court, Mr. Zeng, regarding this matter, and also in the meantime, have someone from your office email to Mr. Forres a copy of the last statement. You said your office sends them every 2 weeks. So obviously the one was sent in the last 2 weeks, he's not received it. So we send that this morning so Mr. Forres can look at that. So we can at least address this issue before we conclude this morning.
Okay, I will have my office do so right now.
In the meantime, I want to talk with Attorney Nemec and Ms. Sumner regarding the parenting time issue that's before the court this morning.
Okay. Do you mind if I log off or?
Well, I'm gonna have you talk to the attorney. I'm not gonna keep Attorney Nemec waiting here all morning. This matter was set for 9:30, so I'm gonna have you talk. In the meantime, you can have some social from your office send that to Mr. Forres. All right. Okay. Join the breakout room. For the record, this matter is before the court to review parenting time as well as the motion of Attorney Cassandra Suter to withdraw the attorney of record for the defendant Anthony Forres. the court previously had conversations with Mr. Forres and Mr. Zeng, on behalf of Ms. Suter. The parties have conferred with Mr. Pratt from the front of the court. Provide the court with the following recommendation: that father shall have parenting time as follows: Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and the minor child should not be more than 1 hour away from Monroe. Father shall have pace times as the parties can agree. The child support shall be referred to the front of the court for formal investigation recommendation, with each party having 21 days in which to object to any recommendation. Any child support ordered ultimately shall be effective March 1st, 2024. Issue of credits for direct payment shall be reserved for future considerations. Finally, the party shall appear back for its court to view father's parenting time on September 17th, 2024 at 10:30 a.m. That is a recommendation. Ms. Nemick, is this recommendation good with your client?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Zeng, is this recommendation good with your client this morning?
My client is indicating no.
Okay.
I would like to
And
get a,
what are his objections?
He's objecting to him not being able to get overnight parenting time, and the fact that he has been providing support for the minor child, but the backdating of the child support would put him in a significant arrearage.
Right. The issue of credits is reserved. So, Mr. Forres, you should not make any direct payments. They should be through the front of the court. And if in fact you're seeking credits against child support, that could be addressed at a future date. So that issue is reserved. With respect to parenting time, we have the minor child is what?
11 months.
11 months old, not even a year old.
Correct.
Ms. Nemick, what's your client's objection to overnights?
Currently, Mr. Forrest lives 2.5 hours away and does not have a home of his own. He indicates that he is living with friends at a house that, when I look it up, it is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house that already has 3 occupants, not including Mr. Forrest. Mr. Forrest has never exercised any overnight parenting time, has never provided care for River independently. And when Ms. Sumner speaks to Mr. Forrest, because they do FaceTime every day, as he just indicated, he is never at the home that he claims that he lives at, and is instead in a shop that he was previously living above that has no running water or bathroom. So at this point, he again has never exercised any overnight parenting time. Previously, his parenting time was supervised by Ms. Sumner. The appropriate next step would be for him to have unsupervised parenting time, not go straight from supervised parenting time to overnights 2.5 hours away.
Your
Right,
Honor,
thank you.
yes, Your Honor, the parties are actually only an hour and a half away. The residence that my client is residing in has been remodeled with 4 bedroom and 2 bathroom, and the family that he was living, he is intending to live with, their daughter is about to move on to college, so so there will be 2 occupants left in that home, excluding Mr. Forrest and potentially the minor child.
Well, if the court recalls, in the past, Mr. Forrest has been homeless and he's been bouncing around. So until such time Mr. Forrest secures some permanent appropriate housing, the court will not permit overnight parenting time. So Mr. Forrest, that should be your first focus, is getting some appropriate housing.
yes, sir.
Which is appropriate for overnight. So we can review that issue on September 17th at 10:30 a.m. So the court's inclined to adopt this recommendation, and it gives a little more freedom by order rather than restricting it to mile and dragway. You can,
Right.
you don't, as long as you're not more than 1 hour away from Monroe. And of course, summertime, you go to parks and so forth.
Yeah,
I
I was
guess
really just right now, Your Honor. I was just really wanting a day each day, like 5 to 10, where I could FaceTime River at least, if I'm not going to be able to do parenting time and exercise my parenting time and rights of the father, Your Honor.
Okay, so you want a specific time for the FaceTimes?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Well,
Okay,
Your
Ms.
Honor,
Nimitz, that's unreasonable.
I work until 4:30 p.m. and I work a half an hour away. So sometimes I do
Okay.
not get to River until 5 or just after.
So let's say 5:30, 6 o'clock. What's a good time, Miss Summer?
6 o'clock should be fine.
Work with your schedule, Mr. Forrest?
Yeah, she goes better around 6:30. I was kind of leaning toward like 5:30 to 6 or 6:30.
She
Like
does not go to bed at 6:30.
oh, she's not. No, I thought she was okay.
It's always been between 7 and 8.
Every time, I mean, a lot of times I've talked to you, Ash. I see her sometimes sleeping at 5:30, so that's kind of why.
It
Your
depends
Honor-
if she napped or anything all day.
Your Honor, if I may, Ms. Sumner has been facilitating FaceTimes between for Mr. Forrest and River nearly daily, which he admitted himself when we were before Miss LaPrade. What he's looking to do is try to hold Miss Sumner to a time that he can enforce rather than understanding that an 11-month-old and parenting an 11-month-old basically on her own requires some flexibility.
No, ma'am, that's not what I do.
Well, if I could, Your Honor, I believe my client's asking for a range of time, not exactly exact time period. So my client was stating from 5 to 6 or from 6 to 6:30, sometime in between that time when, Ms. Sumner is available, she could facilitate that video call or that phone call for my client and the minor child. You don't exactly need to say exactly at 6 p.m. then Miss Sumner needs to be stay by the phone. But when Miss Sumner is free between 6 to 6:30 or 5:30 to 6:30, she could give my client a call with the minor child to facilitate that that contact.
Right. So it's unfortunate. The best schedule is one that they can agree upon, but if they can't, then we establish a time frame. So
Sure.
between 6:30 and 7. Mr. Forrest, Miss Summer.
I'm fine with that, but sometimes,
Okay.
she is 11 months old. Sometimes she doesn't agree to be on the phone.
So you understand, Mr. Forrest, it might be about a 60-second FaceTime if in fact you're going to hold her to a certain time frame.
No, Your Honor, I'm not trying to hold her to a certain time. I mean, I'm cool with it from 5 to 7. If we set that schedule, what time she wants to call me, if she wants to call me at 6:39 or 6:59, it's fine. Just
So she's not home till close to 6 o'clock. So what, say between 6 and 7? Is that what you're suggesting?
yes.
Right, Miss Nemec?
Ms.
Sumner, would that
Sumner,
work?
you've indicated a couple of times that you don't have a problem with that. Is that accurate?
Yes, we've been calling him
Okay.
before bed. That's completely fine.
All right. So the court will order the FaceTimes, they occur between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. every day.
Hmm.
Otherwise, court will adopt the remainder of the recommendation, and we'll be back to review these issues September 17th at 10:30. Lastly, Mr. Zeng, your office's motion to withdraw. Have you sent to Mr. Forrest a copy of the last statement?
I did. I have sent Mr. Forrest a detailed statement containing every single charge from the beginning of the case to now.
All right, Mr. Forrest, did you receive that statement?
I did, sir. It is 19 pages long. I tried to look at a couple. It's probably going to take me an hour or two to review, for I can look at all my emails I sent and what they have wrote down, Your Honor. See if it's accurate. Sorry.
You can obviously, there's been a breakdown in the attorney-client relationship. So if in fact you have issues with that, you need to take it up with their office. You have certain civil rights as well if you want to file civil action if they are breaching their contract. But the court is at this point inclined to allow them to withdraw as your attorney, which means you can hire a new attorney to represent yourself. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Anything else on that issue?
On the withdrawal issue,
Yes.
you're saying they're not going to be my attorney? Right
sorry?
after, did you say they're not going to be my attorney after today?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering. I mean, if we looked at it, the substantial amount of money that I have gave to them, and we have been now, I mean, 2 court hearings. I tried making a payment plan with them, and I have got denied a payment plan. And
Okay. That's between you and that office. That's between you and the Goldman Associates. The court's not gonna get involved in the middle of that. So at this point in time, the court will allow Goldman Associates to withdraw his attorney of record for Mr. Forrest. Mr. Zeng will need an order to that effect, and also put in that order the current mailing address.
There should be a proposed order attached as Exhibit A. If you do not have
It's
that,
in the file. I don't take the orders out of file. You should submit that separately rather than attach it to your motion. So I
Okay.
can't take it out of the file. You need to resubmit that. And I
Okay.
do see, yes, it does have an address. Mr. Forrest, your current address is 1795 West Barnes Road, Fostoria, Michigan. Is that correct?
yes, sir.
All right, so all for pleading. So that order, I just can't pull it out of the file. Mr. Zeng, you've got to resubmit that order.
We'll do so.
But it appears that has Mr. Forrest's address, mailing address reference that order, so that should be sufficient. So the court will grant that motion and will enter the order upon presentment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything further, Ms. Nemec?
I have nothing further. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Forrest, reach out to Suter or Goldman or whoever you need to deal with that firm. After review the statement, if you have concerns, and either represent yourself September 17th, note there in your calendar, or get another attorney.
Alrighty, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, that will conclude this hearing. Zoom out. Have a good rest of the day.